Let's now look at the second series here. It's going to be 4 games of Vensi and oKhaliD. So this is definitely going to be a lot more interesting, I feel like, compared to the last series, due to the fact that currently, like the last series I casted, the guys were 2 places next to each other, 36 and 35. A nice quick challenge there for oKhaliD. This time, oKhaliD is ranked 3 at the moment, and Vensi is ranked 11. So they're quite a lot higher. A nice turnaround here for oKhaliD. He does this a lot. I'm gonna highlight it, in fact. I'm gonna look at it later and I'm gonna explain exactly what I saw there. Challenging early does oKhaliD on that shot, but Vensi defends it. In fact, Vensi is very aggressive here and just takes it away from oKhaliD. Pick up possession for Vensi, but he doesn't want to use it. oKhaliD instead goes in the air. It's not something I see him do all that much. He wants to dunk it, but can't get it. Vensi's dunk is too good. He's a lot more defensive there than being aggressive, which is probably the smarter thing to do. Given how I see a lot of people fail that dunk, the defensive dunk, because they go aggressive on the ball, which is not like the person who's most defensive usually on the dunk is the person who comes away with the ball, or does have the result in their favor. oKhaliD awkward, but Vensi just wastes oKhaliD's boost. Or oKhaliD just takes it back. Nice and easy. Doesn't need to overcomplicate things. Vensi with the demo, in fact. Vensi can just take it and shoot it in the opposite corner, making it too awkward for oKhaliD to deal with. If he shot it on the right side, oKhaliD probably could have taken it, but because it was on the left, it was too hard. I think this is also a repeat. I've seen these 2 players before. oKhaliD just takes that 50 and bumps it into his own net. Not his own net, his opponent's net, of course. Kick off here for Vensi, shoots it. oKhaliD has not enough boost to react to this. Another kickoff goal for Vensi. This is going great for him. He's having a great time with the kickoffs here. See, it seems like he's just doing a very solid kickoff. Nothing too fancy. In and out for oKhaliD, fakes it, has to go down, crossbar down, and it goes in eventually. It took a couple of years, but it's fine. The only thing that Vensi cares about is that it goes in. Kickoff shot there for Vensi, but oKhaliD can't keep it out, so it goes in. Could have probably saved it, but it was a very awkward position. Vensi with 3 kickoff goals, if I've counted my eggs correctly. Now Vensi with no boost in the defensive position. That's not good, unless oKhaliD goes for, oKhaliD goes for a mid-air. That it's too difficult to deal with for Vensi. oKhaliD has to mix up his kickoffs a little bit more. oKhaliD gets the position here. Gets a shot. Seems like Vensi was trying to intercept this by a pre-flip, but oKhaliD didn't shoot, and as Vensi was on the ground, oKhaliD just shoots it. Vensi with the shot here, crossbar down. Unfortunate. Can't really do much about it. However, oKhaliD is way too far back. He can't intercept the ball for a clear. A wave dash kickoff, wave dash landing kickoff. oKhaliD wants to. Seems like he maybe wants to low 50-50 it, but Vensi is too aggressive for oKhaliD to deal with. oKhaliD shoots early. Vensi way out of position, but oKhaliD doesn't have that great of a possession either. He can flick it. No, he doesn't want to. He wants to go for a low 50. And he keeps the possession, but he doesn't get a good position again. Sacrifices a shot here. Wants to make Vensi overcommit, but he misses. Unfortunately, oKhaliD misses the goal. And so Vensi can just take it on the runaway. 4 goals with 130 left. Not a great takeoff. oKhaliD could perhaps challenge this. He does. Doesn't want to shoot it early. Waits until it goes on the ground. Shoots it. Then it's quite hard, but Vensi rather can just take it. Gets a free preset. Uses it, and it's not enough because oKhaliD gets a double save here on the crossbar, and he shoots the open net without any issues. Again, oKhaliD with the same kickoffs he's been doing every time. Vensi has at least mixed it up a little bit more. Accidental miss on the wave dash. oKhaliD can just go in the air instead. Vensi with the in and out, and he's so aggressive that oKhaliD has to shoot early, which makes it impossible for him to score, and that's a forfeit from oKhaliD, which was about to be a 4-goal game. I saw this, I thought it was very interesting because oKhaliD goes for the air dribble, and he knows he has to go for the demo here, but the problem is that Vensi is glued to the ceiling, and so that leaves him very little room to be in between the ball and the goal for the mid-air demo. Instead, Vensi just takes it. And I said I was going to go back for this part. This is something I've seen oKhaliD do all the time. He takes it, right? See this position, it bounces on the wall. Instead of taking it right there, he waits for it, and then he just goes aggressive. I see him do this all the time. The ball goes in the air, goes towards, say, his net. He then shoots it into his own little backboard on the side, and then just shoots it on the first touch. He does this all the time, and it works pretty much every time. It's one of oKhaliD's most dangerous weapons. We usually talk about oKhaliD's bounce dribbles being very deadly, the dead mechanic that he's pretty much mastered, but we rarely talk about that. Shooting it into your own back, side wall, and then or passing it to the own side wall to yourself, and then shooting it on the direct. It's a very dangerous shot that often results in a goal because the opponent is right there next to you. He's way out of position, and the ball just rolls in the net because he's way too far away from defending it. So let's see how oKhaliD can react to Vensi's plays in the second game of this little 4-game series. Game 2 on Deadeye Canyon. Let's see if oKhaliD can respond here. I always felt like oKhaliD always plays better in the orange side. I don't know why, that's probably another one of those placebos. Gets a free preset, touches it on the landing, but goes nowhere for oKhaliD. Vensi on the runway, but he can't do anything about it. Wants to musty, it seemed like, but in a terrible position. Shoots it early, makes it awkward for Vensi to react, and just gets it past him on the defensive. oKhaliD doesn't want to go in the air at first. Makes it bad for Vensi to do anything. By constantly being active, you don't let your opponent the ability to rest and think about things. But oKhaliD with the overcommit, unfortunately can't keep it out. Has to force it in. It's the same thing that happened in the last game. Well, very closely at least, where the ball was just rolling towards khalid's net, and he was unable to push it out. Both players come away with the boost, but khalid comes away with the canister, Vensi with just a couple of pads, and that makes it a terrible position for Vensi to be in. A nice defensive pre-flip there by khalid, or by Vensi, and actually Vensi with another pre-flip just pushes it into the net before khalid's able to react. Maybe he thought that there's no way Vensi is actually challenging that, but Vensi just saw an opportunity to score instead of being too defensive. Vensi opts out for that challenge. khalid doesn't want to go for the demo, doesn't want to overcommit. Knows that if he misses, that's probably a goal for Vensi. Flicks past, but it's not in a scoreable position, and he has to just be defensive here. Wants to do a very delayed 50. A delayed kickoff precision, kind of. Challenge for khalid, but he comes out of position by overcommitting on this 50. Not something that we see often. khalid is usually incredibly solid on the 50s. And now there was an overcommit. A kickoff position for kickoff shot, kickoff goal for Vensi, which is something that he's been taking advantage of quite a lot already. Getting good kickoffs. khalid shoots early. Vensi's not able to react in time. He does get a quite a good hit on it, but unfortunately it has to go in. He was aiming to get it in the inside of the post. But another Vensi kickoff. Yeah, as I was saying, he was trying to aim the ball for the inside of the post, so it goes diagonally outwards towards this khalid's left side, or Vensi's right side. But now it's khalid with the kickoff goals. Makes it terrible for khalid. Of course, Vensi living in the Netherlands gets 8 ping, 8-12. And khalid with good 80 ping actually. khalid with the dribble, but he gives on that play. Instead, chooses the wall this time, gets a demo so he can just relax. He knows that Vensi is far away, he knows he can just take it and set up his next play. Vensi fakes the demo. khalid here has to be careful about Vensi's aggression. Vensi goes for it, and khalid almost gets it over him, but Vensi is too quick. If Vensi just waited a second, khalid would have had the ball over Vensi and scored, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Then Vensi has to be Vensi can go aggressive here, and khalid has to be careful. khalid gets the demo. Too much straight on of a challenge there for Vensi. Makes it a tied game. Another standard kickoff by both players. Both of them can get the respective boosts. But Vensi is aggressive. Knows that khalid has very little acceleration if Vensi just goes for it and uses a lot of his boost to challenge that. Another kickoff for Vensi. This has been a great little mini series of kickoffs for Vensi. It almost sounds insulting, but I almost feel like kickoffs are Vensi's greatest strength at the moment. Unfortunately, khalid has no boost, can't pad even. Take the pads. And Vensi misses the open net. Should have been a 3-goal game. Gets it past khalid, who has an okay amount of boost. And khalid just shoots it. Mistake there by Vensi. Should have been a 3-goal game. Instead, it's a 2-goal game. It's a 1-goal game, sorry. Vensi challenges here. nicely. Doesn't want to go in the air. He's been quite afraid of going in the air. Instead, it's oKhaliD who overcommits this play. Vensi can just backflip. Quick shot there by oKhaliD. It's too out of reach for Vensi. Didn't think that oKhaliD had enough boost to challenge, or rather shoot that fast. But it doesn't really matter when Vensi's kickoffs are so good. Vensi with the challenge, goes on one side, goes on the other. Shoots, but oKhaliD saves it. oKhaliD has to be careful here. 10 seconds left and it's a 2-goal game. He has to be quick. Vensi just clears it. This should be enough, and I think it is. That's game. Little challenge there doesn't quite do anything for either player, as Vensi wins 10-7. A lot more outplays for... I almost feel like this was a better game for oKhaliD, even though he lost by more. But that was due to the fact that the kickoffs of Vensi. There's a nice play here by oKhaliD. Bump Vensi enough so that he's out of position and can't root his way into the canister and just go on the back wall. Makes it so that oKhaliD can just take that canister and shoot. But we'll have to see oKhaliD improving and adapting to Vensi's kickoffs more. Maybe instead of going on a head-on approach as he's been doing, maybe we'll need to see him adapt and not try to lose as much as he's trying to win. Like, he's doing a great kickoff, but he's obviously losing. So I'm thinking that maybe if he adapts in just enough so that these kickoff goals don't happen. So he will never get a kickoff goal himself, but he will never get scored on by kickoff goal. That's what I'm thinking that oKhaliD has to do. Let's see if he does that in the third game. The penultimate game. Let's see if oKhaliD can adapt to the kickoffs of Vensi. It's a great start. He gets the boost and he gets it past Vensi. So that he's unable to do anything. These games were played a couple of days ago and they were very close within one another. Like 45 minutes. All of these 4 games. And he doesn't want to overcommit. But oKhaliD, instead of going for the challenge on little boost, he instead opts for going for all of the boost. And Vensi gets the air dribble bump. oKhaliD with the punish there. Instead of going for a challenge with the 12 boost, he instead opts for a side canister and defending this dangerous air dribble. Vensi with the overhead pop leaves the net open. oKhaliD has to be a little bit annoyed with himself. Both of these goals could have been prevented. Kickoff opportunity for oKhaliD. Vensi gives away the possession. Mistake there by Vensi. An important goal for oKhaliD. oKhaliD in the air. Shoots it early, but Vensi's too quick. And he has a favorable bounce so that he can just take the open net. A very quick and aggressive play there by Vensi gets to his benefit. Sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. A great fake there by oKhaliD. Forces Vensi to go for the mid boost, which gives oKhaliD a scoring opportunity. Quick shot here. But I think it was off target regardless of Vensi's intervention. khalid doesn't want to go up, but he keeps the ball. Now he goes for an air dribble. No, he wants to go for a dunk. It's a low ground. Vensi with the in and out, but khalid just ground pinches it into the net. He's doing a lot better with the kickoffs, does khalid this time. It seems like he's not winning the kickoffs, but he's not losing them particularly hard either. Now khalid, what can he do with a 100 in this position? Tries to go for a low ground 50. And just instead take it. No, he just flicks it. Vensi doesn't want to stop the ball on this line, so he just flicks it. Almost an own goal there for Vensi. In fact, khalid is quick enough here, he should be able to get it in, and he is. So instead of, on that line here a couple of plays ago, instead of Vensi stopping the ball on the goal line, he just shoots it on near the corner, hoping that it's not great for khalid. But khalid with the mistake here tries to avoid the bump slash demo, and instead stops his car so that Vensi can just take the ball and shoot it. As he takes it across, goes quickly in the air because he knows that the khalid is there. If he gets it past khalid, that's an open net, and he knows that. Both of them go for it, but it's a miss from both, or rather a miss hit from Vensi, and he's out of position and cannot take the rebound that khalid can slot in instead. Kick out position for khalid. Wanted to pit maneuver Vensi, perhaps into own goalie. Doesn't want to go for a bounce dribble. Instead it's Vensi. What can he do with 0 boost? He wants a 50. He obviously wants to get some boost. And he's not too sad about not being able to shoot here, because now he comes away with all of the boost that khalid wants. Shoots a pass, but it doesn't go anywhere. Both of them with the slow 50, very nice. A quick shot there by khalid. Realizes that Vensi is not going for it, so he can just take it slowly. However, he's not able to shoot it fast enough. And khalid he wants to carry it in the air to his own corner, but instead he just lets it float, and khalid just takes it instead. Yeah, see, this is what's happening in this game compared to the previous two. Even though khalid lost kickoff, nice dodge there, it's not a kickoff goal, and khalid is able to challenge. In fact, he's able to clear this. They have to be careful not to own goal. Both of them trying to avoid the bump. khalid can't put it in directly, has to wait. Let's see with the save here. Has to stay in the air, because he knows if he lands, then khalid can just shoot it over him, so he has to be careful. Smart plays by both players here. I think this is the best game so far in this little 4-game series by both players, especially Vensi. He's playing a lot smarter this time. khalid has to realize he's never gonna get that boost, but he has to put up the pressure regardless. Bump there for khalid, and it's just enough. I'm gonna look at that a little bit. khalid has no boost, and so this is super dangerous for khalid, and Vensi can just carry it. This was more of a matter of time before this was gonna happen than it was an inevitability that was gonna happen, because khalid had no boost in a very awkward defensive position. Flicks it, and it's in the opposite side of where khalid is facing, and we all know how really well that goes for the offensive player. This time it works finally with the 50, but unfortunately that's not enough. He takes it down on the 50. He does get the possession play from this time. Didn't even realize that there was so little time on the clock. But unfortunately, he has to ground it because he has no boost. The only way to get it into the Vensi net and equalize the game into overtime is to flick it early here. Because if the ball is moving faster than you and you have no boost and it's 0 seconds, then you have to flick it. There's just no other way to have any other good positioning here. Here oKhaliD gets a great bump onto Vensi so that Vensi can't shoot it directly, but again it was an inevitability as he has no boost. And Vensi just carries it. And there was another position here from, I think it was a save, was it? Yeah, this is great. I see oKhaliD do this a lot. He fakes going for the mid boost because if he fakes going for the mid boost, that means that Vensi is gonna take the back boost, his own back boost. But this is fantastic here. So he goes back, realizes that, oh crap, I have to go for the mid boost, and this works a lot. Now oKhaliD has the position, could flick it past him, but unfortunately he was unable to. That's really smart, and it works surprisingly well, even in lower ranks. So I would highly recommend doing that. Fake going for the mid boost to then go for the back boost. Worst case scenario, they have to go for the mid boost and then go back. Best case scenario, they have nothing in that. Because they think you're going for the mid boost when you're actually going for their back boost. Smart situation. But that's it for the third game. And we'll see if oKhaliD is able to rebound, at least get one game here. Vensi has won all 3 thus far. And so we'll have to see if oKhaliD can bounce back and get one game. The final game of this little series, the 4th, and also of this, the final game of this evening. We're doing it on Wasteland. Hopefully, for the sake of competition, I'd like to see oKhaliD win a game here. And it does get off to a great start by flicking it past Vensi. It's another good server for oKhaliD. oKhaliD with the flipper side shoots it, but I think he missed the ball actually. Vensi instead can take it. Goes for a 50, doesn't go anywhere. Has to give up on that position. Almost gets an own goal, has to be careful. oKhaliD takes it on the side. Goes in the air for stealing. Unfortunately, it gets a terrible touch. Vensi can take it past. Has to be careful for a demo here, and he is. But he has no boost. Vensi gets a bump here, but it's not enough for oKhaliD to be out of position. oKhaliD shoots it early. Gets a pinch, but it's in oKhaliD's favor, and so we can just take a couple of pads here and there. oKhaliD with a nice interception there, and can just take in the open net. oKhaliD is being aggressive. I think he's being a little bit too aggressive. Vensi just shoots it, but oKhaliD is able to be in defense. oKhaliD with the panic here gets a demo and should be able to get it in. Unfortunately, the shot is not good enough, and so Vensi can just go back in defense, take it into this corner, and chill a little bit. Vensi in the air this time, for the first time, perhaps. oKhaliD with a panic flick, and he's very aggressive here. He's so aggressive that Vensi can't react to it. Vensi's thinking he's gonna wait until oKhaliD makes a mistake there, but he waits a little bit too much. Waits for too long. oKhaliD doesn't want to go for it this time. oKhaliD fakes it, a very nice one. Instead of carry, gets a bump there. oKhaliD is being very patient here. And Vensi realizes that. So he waits for a good opportunity where oKhaliD is back-footed. I can see bounce dribble. A hook shot, no. Misses. Gets a little bit of panic from that near hit from Vensi. So Vensi just shoots it in. Should have been a 3-goal game. But oKhaliD panicked when he saw Vensi driving past him. oKhaliD sees the boost. Can he do anything about it? He goes in the air for another in and out save for Vensi, and it actually works. Gets the in and out save, and on the runaway he can just put it in. A tied game could have had a very different image if this didn't have a fake there for oKhaliD. He's not been going for a lot of those kinds of fakes in these 4 games. Mostly a dribble into a low 50. That's not much fake as he has done. So now instead of flicking it or shooting, he just waits, and Vensi is out of position for that fake. And here he goes on the he does the opposite. This time he has the ball and he flicks it instead of going for a low 50 or a complete fake. Times the 2-goal game in favor of oKhaliD. Vensi very defensive. Doesn't want to go on the aggressive. Now oKhaliD out of position. Goes a little bit too early, it seems. Vensi can just take it in. Realizes that oKhaliD is going for early, can just finish the challenge. If he saw that oKhaliD was faking it, then he probably would have given up on that positioning anyway. Instead, it's Vensi with the 1-goal reduction. Let's be careful. Isn't careful enough. Gets demoed. However, Vensi doesn't want to go for the goal directly here. Flicks it, and it's past oKhaliD. It ended well anyway. 30 seconds left. It's an equal game. oKhaliD with a lot more mistakes this time. Gets another demo. And again, takes his time instead of going for it directly. Shoots it. Bounces it on one side, goes to the other, and then shoots the first way that you went. So you go left, right, left. And there's very little oKhaliD can do about that. A weak shot for Vensi gives the position away for oKhaliD. Has to be careful. A nice aggressive challenge there for Vensi. He can just try to pretty much not do anything, let it drop, and he does shoot it into ground. And that's GG's. 4-0 is Vensi against oKhaliD here. We saw in the first and second game that there were a lot of kickoffs in favor of Vensi. oKhaliD has adapted to it within these 2 last games, where he was losing a lot fewer kickoffs. But as he was not losing the kickoffs anymore, Vensi instead outplayed oKhaliD, forcing oKhaliD to make mistakes. I think this was a very nice one, where oKhaliD is fake challenging, and then he goes for it. Because he sees that Vensi has no interest whatsoever in going for it. And so Vensi can just time it correctly so you could time the arc, kind of, the arch of how oKhaliD jumps and is floating in the air to get a nice bump. It's a minute detail that probably made Vensi be able to score that one. And here, that should probably have been a goal also. It should have been a 4-goal game, but that didn't happen. But I think this was quite a high series of games.